Good to see everybody. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our next honoree, who is a very, very dear friend of mine, a partner in not crime, I'm happy to say. An individual that I first met when Dave and I both came back to the drum corps in the summer of 2016 in San Antonio. And George came out to see the drum corps and immediately went to the kitchen truck to make sure the volunteers were okay and the kitchen staff was okay and everything was running nice and smooth. And I was like, who is this guy? I mean, he is super passionate about this drum corps. And I kind of knew George because he started marching right after I stopped teaching, and I just knew his compassion for this organization and what it meant to him. And George shortly after that joined the board of directors, and got immediately involved deeply in the board of directors, and soon became the board chair at the perfect opportune moment for our drum corps, the time where we needed that type of leader the most. We were facing a pandemic, which is unimaginable to deal with as a nonprofit. And after that, we had our situation in 2022, and George helped us navigate that as well. So Dave, myself, and George have been a team for quite a number of years, and I can't imagine doing this with anybody at the helm other than George. So I'm very happy to introduce George Dickinson.
Thanks all. I'm going to read in the interest of time. First, I want to acknowledge some important people that make tonight special. Thank you, Ross and Spirit Hall of Fame Committee, for planning this incredible evening for us to celebrate Spirit. Thank you to the previous inductees to the Hall of Fame for the gift of your time in coming out to help us celebrate tonight. I want to thank my team, the Spirit Board of Directors, and Jason Burns, Executive Director, for your tireless support and leadership. It's because of a phone call from Ken Ashley that I was called to come on home and serve on the board, and we thank Ken as a leader and major fundraiser for Spirit. Justine and Caitlin, thank you for fully energizing the leadership of our alumni to help us build such a strong community. Our alumni corps honors our past and connects that heritage to our future mission of Spirit of Atlanta under Dee Dee and Brad. Thank you for giving back to connect every generation of Spirit. And of course, thank you, Chris, Dave Cohealy. Both of you have sustained our beloved corps that we're here tonight for, and both of you appreciate it for all of your hard work. There have been some special people along the way, but there's one person I want to thank for their support and sorry. My mom. Without the love and support of my mom and her blessing, I could never have realized my dream to do this. I do want to share a quick few memories on what the marching experience meant to me at Spirit of Atlanta. I think I first saw the Corps around 1980 or 1981 in my hometown of Mobile. That planted a seed for the activity that I really didn't begin to foster until I was a drummer in high school. Then came a week at Spirit Camp in 1986. Mind absolutely blown. Had a great instruction, soaking up everything from Dan Detweiler and Randy Wickstrom. They were great. But then Spirit came in and held a drumline clinic, and they had this cool dude running the line, Mike Back. I can still hear that line, the sound of the drums and the feeling in my chest. I had never experienced anything like it. Immediately I knew that I had to have that experience. I wanted to march in Spirit of Atlanta. That opened the door for me auditioning in 1987, and I found myself playing cymbals and holding cymbals for some of the members of that 86 line. I learned so much from those guys, in particular Eric Wells, Kelly Farrell, Bo Rowell, and Brian West, who took the time to drum with me and help me build my foundation. Thank you, Mike Back, for giving that eager kid a chance. Then there's the Brotherhood of 1991 bass drum line. 6 of us were absolutely inseparable during the summer of 91, and I'm incredibly happy that I got a chance to march that summer with my number 1 bud, Chris Cooper. Be forever glad that we made the decision to age out together, and as a bonus, I got to march on that bass drum line with my 1987 bud, Larry Boss, who played cymbals with me in that year. To the rookies, Andy and John, who marched and had years left after 91, I'm glad that you had other opportunities and found your love for Spirit of Atlanta. John McBrayer, my Contra brother from 1991, I'll always respect you for your years of maturity that you brought to Spirit from Suncoast Sound as a vet that sets you apart as a leader. You did things the right way as a vet, leading from the front, and it's always what I want to be as an age out 91. Thanks all for your friendship. Chris Moore, this was the most difficult part to write for me, to try to compose my thoughts around, but maybe that's what it is. There's so much that we have fought for, figured out, scrapped our way out of, and built from the ground up. There's no way to capture it all. Far too many times it was you and me on the phone making a plan, dividing it up, and then hanging up, and then we'd be working with our respective teams to complete that plan tirelessly. I really appreciate your trust. Thank you for being my friend, my partner, my teammate in building Spirit to the sustained organization that it is today. Couldn't have done this without you. And lastly, I want to give some advice. If I could give any advice to the next board president for Spirit of Atlanta, I'd say this. If you do not have a Martha Moore in your life, you go find you one. Fast. I want to thank Martha for her mentorship, guiding me to be a better nonprofit leader, board member, fundraiser, and representative of the Spirit of Atlanta. Martha, you sent an email to me and Chris during the 2023 season, and while I'll keep that message private just between us, I want you to know that I still have that email and I'll always hold on to it as inspiration for the fight for the mission of Spirit of Atlanta. I'll close on a few things kind of in the board chair role. For us to sustain this organization, we must begin to view it and support Spirit not as a drum and bugle corps, but as a youth performing arts nonprofit with a mission that is achieved through a drum corps. Spirit exists year-round and not just the 80 days during the summer. John House said it very well in his speech last week. Spirit of Atlanta is still here today because people wanted Spirit of Atlanta to still be here. Lastly, to this audience, the ambassadors, the alumni, the volunteers, the leaders of Spirit of Atlanta, do not miss this moment. Do not take Spirit of Atlanta for granted that it will always be here. But if we work hard enough and invest, it will be. All of us are members, leaders, fundraisers for Spirit, but just for a short time. And the future of Spirit is the result of the hard work that we do. Not the memories, stories, clicks, and likes, but yes, it's the hard work that we do today to make sure that we can offer a bright future for Spirit of Atlanta and the members of tomorrow.